If you've been paying any attention to the 200 realtors on your Instagram feed, you'll know that interest rates are coming down at any moment. The spring market has come early. Multiple offers are back. So don't even bother looking for a home inspector because you won't have the opportunity to use one. Remember, if it's on the internet, it must be true. Hello everyone and welcome to the February edition of our Greater Vancouver Market Update, your source for unbiased, unspun analysis of the housing market here in Greater Vancouver. If you find these videos informative, entertaining, or if you would just like to do me a solid, please click that like button down below, drop me a comment, and if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to our channel on YouTube to make sure that you don't miss out on any future videos. As always, I'm going to start off by going over the latest market stats and how things are trending. Yes, the boring stuff, before going into our editorial section, the fan favorite boots on the ground. All right, let's start off by taking a look at the January sales figures, which came in at 1,427 transactions, representing only a modest increase from December by a mere 6.1%. At first glance, those two figures seem pretty mundane. But what's wild is that those same 1,427 transactions represent a nearly 40% increase from the sales totals we saw last year. So no wonder all the life coaches, realtors, are once again flooding our reels with tales of market glory. Next, let's take a peek at inventory. The total number of listings for January coming in at 8,633. Again, a fairly modest increase from December of just 9.6%. Now look, generally speaking, January is not a great time to list. The weather is dark and gloomy, the patio looks like crap, curb appeal, more like curb repeal. And who likes stepping into that soggy puddle with their bare socks as they try to get to their shoes at an open house? So not seeing a huge spike in listings shouldn't be surprising. In fact, although listings increased 9.6% from December, they were still 9.1% below the 10-year average for the month of January. So with listings slightly outpacing sales, our months of inventory actually crept up to just over 6 MOI. For those who watch these videos regularly, I apologize for being redundant, but for everyone else, months of inventory is how we determine if we are in a buyer's market, seller's market, or a balanced market. So anything below 4 months of inventory is a seller's market, 4 to 6 is a balanced market, and anything above 6 is a buyer's market. And this is really interesting because by all accounts, the market does feel more active. There are numerous multiple offer situations happening out there right now, but the stats, in fact, paint a very different picture than what we are hearing anecdotally. Now, one of the reasons for this, and it's something that I mention frequently here, is that stats are a lagging indicator. The numbers capture trends that are already behind us, and I would expect next month's numbers to shift sharply. The exact same thing happened last year. If you recall, the January market last year felt super hot, but when the stats came in, we were sitting well above the threshold of a buyer's market at 7.3 months of inventory, only to see that number torpedo down to 4.3 in a single month. I believe there's a good chance we will see something similar next month based on the sentiment in the market right now. But since stats are a lagging indicator and market absorption has actually softened according to the numbers, the benchmark price has continued to inch downward oh so slightly by 0.6% to 1.16 million in the region. This now marks 6 consecutive months of declining prices across our real estate board. Our benchmark price in July 2023 was $1,210,700, and in January 2024, it came down to $1,161,300. So, although 6 months of falling prices in theory would make a pretty good headline, I wonder why anyone hasn't run with that yet. In reality, according to our board's index model, prices have only fallen 4%. And this is at a stage where most people, both agents I talk to and the general public, feel that we have bottomed out and we are set to have prices rise again. So let's put this into perspective. According to the index, your $1 million property that you bought in July 2023 is now worth $960,000. Potentially after one of the driest spells we've seen in this market in a long time. $40,000, 4%. In the last 3 years or so, how many times have you heard that a property has sold for $40,000 over asking price? Would that make you gasp or fall off your chair? Of course not, because we have heard story upon story of properties selling for 100K over asking, 150 over asking, gosh, 300K over asking. I guess the point I'm trying to make here is if we have bottomed out and if the upward swing is around the corner, what has happened here is basically inconsequential. All right, for those on IG and LinkedIn, switch over to our YouTube channel to watch our Boots on the Ground segment. For those on YouTube, let's hit it.
These boots are made for walking, and that's just what they'll do.
So let me start off by telling you a little bit about my process before I record these videos. The fact is that me giving an anecdotal take on what I'm seeing in the market could never be an accurate reflection of what the real landscape looks like. Isolating one agent's experience in a marketplace of 15,000 agents can in no way be indicative of the whole, no matter how much production that agent does or doesn't do. That is literally the definition of tunnel vision. So what do? Well, I talk to my colleagues, and not only those from my office, but from other brokerages. Hey, what are you seeing out there? How are you finding the market? What's the sentiment of your clients? And I gotta tell you, if I had a dime for every time I heard "it's strange," I'd be able to pay for at least an hour of parking in Cole Harbor. This is literally the response I've been getting 90% of the time over the last month and a half or so. The other 5% will say it's slow, while the remaining 5% say that they can't keep up with all the deals they're doing. So what does all this mean? When I dig a little deeper, they say things like, I'm so frustrated, my clients lost out in multiple offers yesterday where we were competing with 14 other groups. There were 15 offers. And I'd respond by saying, well, sorry to hear that, that's crazy. How's the activity on your listings? And they'd say, well, absolutely dead. I think my client is getting ready to give up and take the property off the market. While others tell me, I did 6 deals in January, things are looking up. Here's my high-level take on it. Number 1, properties that weren't selling in November and December of last year when 5-year fixed rates were substantially higher have been relisting with the same photos, the same marketing, and usually for the same asking price, and are all of a sudden selling after only a few days on the market. This has created a perception that the market is on an upward trajectory. Number 2, properties that are new to the market that are priced using comps from the last 3 to 6 months rather than the spring when things were super hot are selling quickly, often in competing offers above asking price. Again, this creates the perception of a rebounding market. Number 3, properties that are projecting where prices will be in 2 to 3 months and putting a premium on their product in an effort to potentially negotiate down are sitting and not selling. And this is why there's a lot of confusion out there and why we are hearing things are strange. If it's priced sharply, it's gonna go. If it's projecting, it's gonna sit. How else can we be seeing certain properties getting 10, 15, 20 offers on offer night while average days on market has been consistently climbing since June of last year? Back in June, average days on market was 22. This January, it's 44. You wouldn't think that both of these scenarios could coexist. And despite average days on market sitting at 44 days and prices declining for 6 consecutive months, according to the Home Price Index, it's not a bad market. I swear, I'm not trying to sound like a homer here, but that's the truth. It's not a bad market. It's just not the light your hair on fire inferno of 2021. And trust me, that is the last thing we want right now. Even in the instances of multiple offers right now and a high number of multiple offers, what we are seeing is that most of the offers are coming in with full subjects at or below asking price. Even if there's 10 offers, 8 will be around asking. Half of those will be below, and then there's going to be 1 or 2 people who will be aggressively trying to get that property and going above asking. I've heard of many circumstances where everyone is lumped in at around asking price, and it literally just comes down to the most favorable dates and the least amount of subjects. This is not what we were seeing at the peak of the COVID market when people were throwing down cash offers well over asking without any rhyme or reason. So yes, the market is active, open houses are busy. Multiple offers with 10 or 15 offers are happening on certain product. But personally, I'm not quite ready to call a bull market anytime soon. I do believe that we will have a lot of activity this spring and that we will have a very healthy spring market. But there's also a lot of hype about interest rates coming down. And I keep wondering, What is that opinion based on? Inflation in Canada continues to be resilient, with the CPI rising at the last Bank of Canada announcement to 3.4%. Their target is 2%. The US economy has shown zero signs of slowing down. Bond yields have ripped up in the last week or two, causing fixed rates to start creeping back up. So where is all this talk of falling interest rates coming from? I just don't really get it. Because personally, and I'm no economist, but I don't see it. Could it be some industry lobbying in an election year in the US perhaps that's pushing some headlines? I didn't say that, but you know what I'm thinking. And here's the paradox. Everyone on your feed is saying rates are coming down, so go buy. And if we have a crazy spring market, guess what? Prices will go up. And when that happens, what are the chances of rates coming down? Slim to none. Remember, one of the biggest drivers of inflation is the cost of housing in Canada. So I realize there's a lot of expensive car leases that need to be paid for out there, but in my opinion, short-term gain will only prolong long-term pain. All right, that's it for me for this month. I hope I wasn't too much of a downer. Let me know in the comments if I was. Please like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you right back here in about a month's time. Take care, everyone.